Welcome to Meanwhile at the Castle podcast. I'm Queen Deborah.
I'm Queen Emily.
And we are Queens of our Castles, keeping the domestic arts alive. It is October 16th, 2019, and this is episode
47.
47.
137. We've done a lot more, but they're all secret.
Yes. We have a lot of podcasts that we just don't want to share. 30. No, what number?
47.
47. It doesn't really matter.
It really
because
doesn't.
we're here, and it has been 3 years officially since Emily and I were podcasting together. That was back in September 29th, did you say?
22nd, yeah. September 22nd,
I can't remember anything.
2016.
So 3 years.
Yep.
Woo!
We're official.
And we're
I don't know what
still
we're official.
friends.
The very best. Yes.
Yes, so we have lots of things going on.
Yeah.
We went to Stitches, and we'll share a little bit about that. Stitches Salt Lake, a new fiber event. And we have finished objects. We have unfinished objects.
Works in progress. But they're also, it's our unfinished business.
Unfinished business.
This is like all the board meetings I ever go to.
Yes.
New business, unfinished
Oh,
business.
goodness. And we have a giveaway winner to announce. And we have our Kindness is Like Sugar
Yes.
segment. And we have...
You looked at me with this panic in your face.
Are we? I forgot. And we have shop news at the end, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Then let's...
All right. So we were going to talk about Stitches.
Stitches, yes.
Yes.
We went to a week and a half ago.
Something like that.
Stitches
Yes.
Salt Lake was a week and a half ago, which is a new fiber event that they just brought to our own town, which is so nice because then...
Now we have two.
Yeah. 'Cause then I can go home and go to sleep at night. Well, I mean, we could go to sleep in the hotel, but it's just easier
it's
to get there.
And we had friends that came and visited us from far away. That was wonderful.
So it was really fun to see people that we had met online only and got to see in person, and catch up with previous friends that we had already met. It was just really fun. So I was a vendor there. And I was in the very back corner, but not the very, very back corner because
I was. Well, Knit and Pretty had a booth. So you had your own booth.
Yes.
Which was it was the best. It was so beautiful.
Thanks, Em.
So, so beautiful. And then right across in the very, very corner was Knit and Pretty. And I didn't have my own booth, but she stocked my yarn. And so that was really fun to have that there and to get to hang out with her in her booth and visit with people. So
and I was saying Emily's close enough that I could throw things at her, but I behaved myself.
Yes, she did. You were a good girl.
I think I only threw something once.
You missed then.
Know.
I didn't notice. But you know what? I liked being in the back corner because the back corner, it might have been the farthest away from the entrance, but it was the closest to like the sit and hang out kind of area.
The restrooms,
all of that. So lots and lots of people came by. It was fun.
So yeah, it was really fun, and I really loved having a booth. I love setting up cute things.
You're so
Makes
good at
me
it.
happy. And then Manda from Little Bitty Delights came on the last 2 days and was there with me and my daughter, so that was fun meeting her. And the first 2 days was my dear friend. She's Knit
by Gramsci.
Knit by Gramsci. I was going to say Margaret, but I was trying to figure out how that went in with her Instagram name. And so I just got to hang out with friends, and my daughter was there the whole time, and everybody seemed to just know her more than they knew me. Okay, so anyways.
That was really fun, though.
It was nice.
And Abby had a great time. She came with me 2 of the days, and she was wearing her Love Note sweater that I knit her, and she said people will just come up and like pet my shoulder.
I said, this is the only place where it's normal and okay to
I'm
do
like,
that.
yeah, normally if an adult you don't know, well, even here, if an adult you don't know touches you, you can just run away and come and get me as fast as you can.
You're like, let me tell you about the yarn.
Right. But what,
You
yeah,
do have to be
I was kind of like, that's a
about
little
that with
weird.
children.
So, yeah, a little heads up. If you're at a fiber event, don't go touching other people's children, please.
Yeah.
That's just not okay.
I mean, We do pet each other's shawls and sweaters and stuff, but with children, that's something to
so that was a little weird. But
about.
she still had a wonderful time, and it was really good. So
I had a sweet friend send me something for this event, and I was really excited because I got to display it. It was something to show off some of my yarns. So one of my friends wove a blanket for me. Oh, there we go.
Oh, it's so
I love it. So these are all my yarns. Some of them like Willy Wonka.
This is my first time actually holding up to it.
It's so soft, isn't it?
It's amazing.
We have Nowhere to Go But Up, Seagrass, Fireball. What's wrong with my brain?
Atomic.
Good job, Emily, for remembering my own colorways.
Well, I just know the candy.
I had lots of them. Then I've got Festival Fizz. I've got lots of different colorways in here. And so I put this on my front table where my daughter was the cashier, which is her life's ambition. She really wants...
Aim high.
Well,
it's fun.
Her dream is to be a cashier at a grocery store where she can use the like little handgun scanner things. That's her dream.
I love it.
And so it's the closest that she has come to that. I didn't have one of those scanners. If I did, then her life would be complete. But I will say, I told her, Nadia, now I know you are perfectly competent in doing this, but most customers will want to feel confident that they are paying the right amount. So I'm just going to stand by you while you do it because they will want to know. Well, when she would go to lunch and I had to do it, all of a sudden I was like, where's Nadia? I need her help. I don't know how to do this. So she was really good at it.
That's wonderful. It's such a beautiful, beautiful blanket.
Did you pick up anything fun there, Emily?
I did. I picked up just a few things. So I actually have used a couple of them. So I'll just show these. But I went on a minis kick. So
those go together so well.
I got these beautiful minis from Yarn Cafe Creations. And I don't think they have colors on the colorway names on them, which I understand when you're labeling minis.
Yeah.
I believe this one is from her Fairy Potter collection, but I think this is, you know what, I better not even say because I will probably be wrong. But they are from Christy Yarn Cafe Creations.
Very pretty.
And then I got this one and another one I'll show you a little bit later from So Happy Jane. She's a new to me dyer who was at Knit and Pretty. See, now I have Knit and Pretty on the brain. I always do. At Stitches. And she's not too far away from us. She lives in Idaho, which is our neighboring state, one of our neighboring states. And anyway, I love her colors. Isn't that beautiful? So that was really fun. So I just got minis. I showed great self-restraint this time.
Very impressive.
Although Abby did get some yarn as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I bought very little. I did get a basket, a hand-woven basket, which was too big for me to bring today. I got a really big one and I was really excited about that. And then I purchased 2 skeins of yarn from Western Sky Knits. They were neighboring my booth, and I loved this bulky base for hats. So I got 2. There were like 5 I wanted to get, but I got 2.
Those are beautiful.
Like those colors. And then I saw on Instagram and had to go hunt out the shop. And the shop is Crafty Flutterby Creations. I don't know if we can see it on there.
It's kind of blown out.
Crafty Flutterby Creations. And I bought some tins of these adorable yarn end keepers kind of thing. Like you weave in your yarn ends wrap them around this until you're ready to weave them in. Now, some people are like, why do you need that? Well, if it's cute, why don't you need it?
Yeah, exactly.
And she did have bigger ones that are like spools for doing color work and stuff. So for what type of color work? Anyways.
Are you talking about Antarja?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got those, and then I have a shawl that I was displaying that I needed a shawl pin for.
I forgot to grab mine.
And I liked this one because it was magnetic, and so it didn't need to pin through my shawl because it was a very fine, delicate one, and when I would pin one through, which is why I didn't have one that I liked, it would pull on the stitches, and this didn't pull on the stitches because it's a magnetic shawl pin, and it was by Rockin' More Accents. Let's see if we can get that. Rockin' More Accents. And there were a lot of really pretty options. Too. Yes, so I liked that one. And then I had a really fun surprise. So I have a prickly pear sock set colorway, and there was one lady, Trisha. She came by my booth at Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair and bought several of them for her and her sisters because they make prickly pear jam every year. And I'm like, I've never tried that. And she came by again and brought me some prickly pear jam. I haven't opened it yet because I had to show it here, and now I can try it.
That's so
fun. Trisha brought me the jam, and I posted pictures on my Instagram account of some socks knit by her sister, by Faye Knits. She knit the socks that you see on there, that she let me repost the picture. So now I can try my jam. That's my jam.
It's your jam. That's so fun.
So, and then I had one more thing that I wanted to show you from Stitches. So, I had Tara Lee Duffin. She is a crochet designer, and she stopped by my booth at Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair and asked if I had any crochet samples. And I said, not really, because I'm not much of a crocheter. I'm not great at that. And she was just commenting that she doesn't really see very much at all around the fairs. And I said, well, asked if she would design something for my booth. And so at Stitches, she released this beautiful infinity scarf pattern. So let me show you up close. So it's got these really pretty flower kind of granny square look with some solid sections in between of it. It's not treble crochet. It looks like, I'm not even sure. I don't, because you know how much I crochet, I told you. And this was in my Balloon Lady colorway, and then she used minis of the rest. And so the name of this pattern is the Wildflowers Infinity Scarf.
That's super cute.
Tara Lee Duffin. Now I gotta take some time to do this. She's Yarn Goddess on yarngoddess.com. Tara Lee, I'm ruining this. It looks better hanging down here, I feel like, but then you can't see it.
Oh, it's so pretty. I love it.
It's really pretty. So,
that's really
fun.
I
got to show that off in my booth. That was really fun. And so if you're looking for a nice crochet pattern, you can go to her Instagram account, Tara Lee Duffin, or to yarngoddess.com. and see her patterns.
So pretty.
So there's some of the fun from Stitches.
It was a good time. It was a small show because it's the first.
It's too warm. I can't wear this.
Yeah, I know. It is warm today.
I'm so glad, though.
It's surprisingly warm today because we had a really cold week last week.
I'm not ready for winter.
I'm not ready either. I don't want winter. Oh, I know. But we had a really cold week last week, and now it's warmed up quite a bit today. But I think that's because it always warms up before it gets right before we get another cold snap. So
yeah, I have to go pick grapes as soon as I get home and juice the grapes because I think I'm gonna lose. I hope I haven't lost them yet. I hope that they're still okay because you need to have a cold snap before you pick them. But we've had a little bit more than that. Yeah,
we did have a freeze, so hopefully they are okay. Alrighty, so what do we have
start
next?
With our finished objects.
All right. I think you should go first.
Okay.
I vote for you.
Okay. I have made a hat. Yay!
It's a cute hat too.
This I've been trying to use patterns that are already in my pattern library. You know, we talk about knitting from stash, but what about knitting from our pattern stash? So this is the Everyday Slouchy Beanie by Tristan Molina, Dragon Horde Yarn, and I've been wanting to knit this one forever and just decided, I think the week of Stitches, to knit one. Because, you know, that's what you do when you're stressed.
Yes, exactly.
Cast on new things.
Stress knitting.
And I love it. So this is using my cotton candy colorway for in a fingering weight, my fingering weight simple syrup base, and then I put a strand of mohair with it, which is my mint colorway on my cotton candy lace base. And I put a pom-pom on here from Knits because I love her pom-poms, and it is really, really a cute one. So I like this. It uses a provisional cast on, and I did a crochet one, and you knit and do a purl ridge and fold it over, and then you join in that provisional cast on with your knitting for a folded brim. And it's just stockinette stitch in a smaller needle, which, you know, actually it just looks really nice and neat and tidy, and it still grabs really well, and then go up to a bigger needle size. So this was a really simple pattern.
Looks really satisfying.
But it was a little bit, I would say, finicky and fussy with the mohair, and using 2 different needles or 3 different needles, and picking up that stitch from the provisional cast on. That took me, just doing that part there probably took me an hour. Everything else really, really fast.
How does it fit?
I'm not a hat person.
Except for you look so cute in hats.
Let's see.
It's
How
great.
does it look?
Cute. Definitely cute and slouchy and fun. Fun.
So I have more of these hats coming up for sure.
That's a fun one.
So very warm. Okay.
I love the simplicity of it too. Like how that it has a simple, clean look to it, but you can do all kinds of fun things with the yarn.
I think it took me about 60 grams of the fingering weight, and I don't remember with the mohair. I don't remember.
Less.
Well, it did take less, but I think that it took about 2/3 of, around 2/3, I think, of my 50-gram skein of mohair, if I remember correctly, which I may not.
Nice. It's nice though. All right. So this is so hard to show, but I finished a sweater, and I'm going to just put it on because that's the easiest way to show things, even though I'm sitting down here and there's not really a lot of room for us to move around. Oh, and I'm knocking things over. All kinds of things. There we go. Good job, Em.
Saved it.
So this is the Wishes Cardigan by Joji Locatelli. And we'll try and get a picture. I'll get it in a sec. We'll try and get, I'll try and get a picture so that you can see it better. It's a funny thing though, because apparently I knit the sleeves too long and I cuff the sleeves, but I actually ended up liking them cuffed really well. So just a simple cuff. It's a fun sweater because you knit it's kind of an interesting, you knit just the sleeves in the back for quite a while, for a little while. And then you come and pick up along this seam and join that in, and then you're knitting it kind of like a shawl with shawl type increases. So it's a very swingy shape, a little shorter in the front than the back. And it was really enjoyable to knit. I thoroughly loved it. It was miles and miles and miles of stockinette with just some simple increases, but I really like it. This was knit in a one-of-a-kind colorway of mine, just on my classic sock base. And I wanted to show you the bind off. I used the same bind off that I have on my Scrappy Bias shawl pattern, which is a nice wide stretchy bind off. Because this shawl, the hem of it is like this, you know, so you need to have a nice ability to really stretch it out when you're, or, you know, lay it nice and flat that way. When you're blocking
you don't want
it
it pulling in like
you
typically have ribbing.
Right. You would not want the ribbing to pull in. So the front edging is knit all at the same time. I don't know how much I love that because it does fold in. Like if I just am walking around, it will always end up folding under.
Like
curling underneath. So that I didn't love. I loved not having to go back later and pick something up and knit, you know, a button band or anything like that. But I think that in the future I would like to figure out, if I were going to knit this pattern again, I would like to figure something out to make that lay a little flatter. In the end, I don't know that it really matters. It's a very drapey, open, free flowing cardigan, you know, so it's good. But I was so surprised how many times throughout the time that I was knitting this, I kept thinking, oh, I wish I had that done. This would go with this outfit. It would go with that outfit. And I've worn it a lot. I finished it actually during stitches. I finished it, what was it, Thursday night, I think.
No, I think it was Friday, and you came Saturday.
No, I didn't come Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I finished it on Thursday, and then blocked it that night, and had fans blowing on it overnight, so I could wear it on Friday. And I love it. It's really fun. So it's been a great one. So that's Wishes by Joji Locatelli. And in my size, it took, I'm trying to think, I want to say 4.5 skeins.
Didn't you have 5 total?
Yeah, I dyed 5 skeins and I had some left. So yeah, about 4.5 skeins, which isn't too bad for this. It's a generous sweater. Let me put it that way.
Very
so
nice.
I enjoy it, but it is too warm to wear it. So I'll try not to knock everything over taking it off. Here we go. There we go. There we go. I got it. Okay. What do you have next?
Okay, I've knit some socks. I finished my Francis socks in the carousel colorway. This is Emily's pattern that...
It's waiting for pictures. As soon as I have pictures, I can put it up.
Okay. So, this yarn, I liked that it was like spiraling this teal up the leg. And I really like the pattern because the pattern kind of, the colorway doesn't just detract from the pattern. Instead, it like shows it off because each loop, it carries the color over some other stitches so you see it stand out. So I really like that. So this is my carousel colorway and a mini of Seafoam. And I have 2. Yay!
So fun.
I really like this one. The color overall, just really cheery and bright. That's fun.
That is really fun.
That's all. I don't have a whole lot to say about it.
Show those two.
I do like to do long cuffs. I think I did 25 or 30 rows for my cuff, and I really like that. I don't always like it on every sock because sometimes it looks funny if I'm doing a separate color and it's that much, but if it's the same color, I'll do a really long one. So I did another pair. So I had a really lovely lady. She cranked some sock tubes for me. She is Sweet Haven Arts on Instagram, and I gave her, I sent her a few skeins of my yarns and asked her if she would crank some yarns for some tubes for me to finish into socks for display on my shop. And she was so patient with me in working out the gauge and working out exactly what I wanted, because she sent them to me and I'm like, can I change it? And sent it back, and she like was really great about it. So it was really nice. So anyway, so this is my can you imagine that colorway? The main body of it with a strawberry mini to do the cuff, heel, and toe. I did an afterthought heel. And so she sent me 2 tubes, and I just picked up the stitches and did the toe, picked up the stitches, did the cuff, and then cut in an afterthought heel. And so I have 2.
Did one mini do both?
It did, with, I mean, just the tiniest bit left. So on this I did, I think I did 18 rounds for the cuff. And I was ready to get out another skein if I needed, but it ended up doing just the right amount. But if I were to do my traditional heel flap and heel turn, I can't typically get I'll have a little bit that I need to do to finish off the last of the toe. So if I try to do all of them in my traditional way, not the afterthought heel. So that's something to consider. It depends on how many stitches you're doing, but that's, or, you know, I could do a shorter cuff, but I really like how I did the longest that I felt I could safely do with one mini.
That makes sense. They look so cute.
Yay! I've got a couple more tubes ready for me to make into socks. I didn't get them finished in time for stitches, but I did get to display these socks, which was nice.
That is awesome. Are you going to share some photos of your booth on here?
I already did.
Well, on Instagram you did.
Yes, but I mean earlier in our podcast. You don't know because you haven't done the editing, but I've done it in my head already.
Oh, it's all you've already seen it. I just don't know these things. I get you. Great. Fabulous. Okay. So, we have a really fun thing coming up this week in a couple days here. This is our second year in our in-person knit group that we do, where we do this mystery exchange. I don't know, what do we call it? Is there a fancy name for it?
It was our mystery swap. Mystery yarn swap. That's what it was. Mystery yarn swap.
So earlier in the year, we each brought some yarn and we put it in a little bag, a little paper bag with a little piece of paper inside that told details about ourselves, including things that we like and measurements and things like that. And then we each take home a bag, and we don't know whose we're going to get. And then we use the yarn in the bag to knit something for that person. And then on Thursday, we get to bring it all back and exchange these gifts. And last year when we did it, it was so much fun. It was such a blast. Yeah. We had such a good time. And so we're going to show those gifts that we've made, knowing that we're not actually releasing this until after we've had our exchange. Okay. So I knit these socks, and I actually know who they're for, of course, but she doesn't know that I have her. And so these are going to be for our friend Brandy. Yay! And one of the main reason I chose to knit socks is that she has mentioned before that she only has, I think it's one or two. She always knits things for her kids and for other people, and she doesn't really knit anything for herself. And she was mentioning specifically that she doesn't have any socks.
She even knit me a pair of socks. Yeah.
She's a very generous gift knitter. So anyway, I made her some crazy, we're going to call these crazy monkey socks, because these are monkey socks from Knitty. They're the no purl version. I've talked about these before. And anyway, I thought we'll just go crazy because it's a fun and crazy colorway. Yep. So might as well make some fun and crazy socks. And then the contrast is one of mine. This is LM Montgomery is my colorway. And I can't remember the name of this yarn. It's that German. Piratenwolle is the yarn. And anyway, I think they're really fun. So that's what we have. Good job. Crazy monkey socks for Brandy. I want to do some little extra something for her, but I don't have very much time, so I got to figure that out right away.
How much do you
have I have left? About 30 grams left of that one, but I have some more of the LM Montgomery too, so I'll think about it.
Yeah. Okay. So, I ended up with a skein of some beautiful yarn.
Lichen and lace.
I never know how to say. Lichen and lace in the gray pumpkin colorway. And I pulled out one of my patterns in my library stash that I have been wanting to make forever because this lady likes hats. This is what she likes. Anything. So I know she will like hats. Because she said so. So you can't go wrong there. So I knit the Father hat by Yoth Yarns. And it has these just really heavily textured portions and cables. It's like it's hard to see.
I know, it kind of isn't showing up nearly as gorgeous on the screen as it is in person.
a beautiful pattern. And I was really worried about having enough yarn because it said even for this size I may not have enough. But I could have gotten a few more rows. But Ashley, I tried it on. I did wash my hair first, but I just wanted you to know, full disclosure, it's a bit on my head because I wanted to make sure that it was going to fit, you know, just right because I have her measurements, but it should fit her lovely. And I like that it's got these cables that kind of go like this and then they interlock with the other section, and in between it's got some texture. It's just highly textured, but really stretchy and really squishy, and it's going to be really warm. So I like that one. And the funny thing is that it's a hat. Hat shouldn't take that long, but this took me so long because I could only do like 3-4 rounds a night because I had to focus so much. Like every row I had to really focus on. So I'm just glad that I got it done and I didn't ruin it. I also, because the goal, whether or not we do it or not is another thing, is to use as much of the 100-gram skein of yarn as possible. And I still have the tiniest, I have this much left. But I knit a little heart and it has lavender in it, so it's a little lavender sachet. And the pattern is, I'm going to just get the bottom of it here. Puffy Hearts Softy. And I bought this online on Etsy. It's by Studio Knit, designed by Kristen McDonnell. And it's available for free on her website, but if you purchase the pattern, then it's in a nice printable format, and it also has a couple of other ones with it. And I always like supporting designers, so not much to say about it, other than it really wasn't hard.
That's fun.
So if I have time, I could knit one more heart.
Then you would have 2 hearts, like a Time Lord. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Well, just ignore me. Okay. Well, awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna clean up my mess here. That's our finished
goal.
Objects. How about
Yes.
our giveaway?
Oh yes,
Behind
let's absolutely mention that. So we had we neither of us can ever remember how to say this. Heart and Hearth
Cal
that we held in our Facebook group, which come and join our Facebook group. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
After our last episode, so many of you came and
Yeah.
joined. It's great. We have lots of people sharing and discussing there, so it's really fun.
Comment, post, just have fun chatting with each other.
So we finished that, and the point of that was to either knit or crochet a dishcloth or make anything for your kitchen, basically, and share whenever you could memories or happy thoughts about things that have to do with
the kitchen.
The kitchen.
That happen in the kitchen.
And Deborah and I both made the
Wondrous Dishcloth.
by Jules, and made a few of those actually.
Yes. And I have been
using them. Yeah, they've been great. So our winner is getting this beautiful bag by
Crafty Clegs.
Okay, Crafty Clegs.
She's on Etsy, and she's on Instagram, and she's on YouTube. Yes,
so
she has a podcast.
Sachets. And a skein of this yarn. This is the one that you used, right?
Yep,
the
that's
same
one
type. So this is the Plymouth Yarn Clio, which is mercerized cotton. So you can make your own dishcloth.
And that's just a card.
And a thank you card.
That actually goes to us.
Okay, got it. Anyway, and so you get this, the winner gets this prize. And our winner is Wendy Solomon. Yay! Yep. So that's really awesome. So we'll be getting that to Wendy. And we're really happy that you all joined us.
Thank you.
Very fun.
Thanks. Okay, time to move on to works in progress or unfinished business.
Unfinished business, yes. That's what we're going to call it from now on. Now for the unfinished business.
Okay, you want to share some unfinished
because
business?
all I do is board meetings. So it's really true. Okay. I have been working on my granny stripe blanket.
Is that what you bought? We're getting minis for?
Yes. Getting minis for the granny stripe blanket. Am I showing the top? Yes, here's the top.
These are going to be cute in there.
Aren't they? My goal with this is candy colors, which, you know, works really well. And I kind of know. I have a supplier. I have a dealer for that.
For your candy.
This has been, I mean, this isn't something I work on all the time, but every once in a while I just pick it up and put a few stripes in.
Do you want me to hold one side?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great. It's getting nice and big though.
Yes.
And I love the weight of it because it's fingering weight, but it's crocheted. You still have enough weight to it.
What colorway is this one?
This one is one of the ones from So Happy Jane.
Yes,
I really like her. Isn't that pretty?
Oh, like it's so pretty.
It really is.
The little
flecks
there.
Yep.
Ooh, I like
and then
that.
this colorway right here is from Sweet Tea Yarns, Molly Klein. And this one is her, I think it's rose gold.
Yeah.
I've mentioned that one before. I knit
you
some
made
socks. Yeah. Anyway, this one's one of yours. Sugar Rush. This one is from Lamb Woman. I can't remember the name. I am so bad at that. Both of these are hers. This is also Molly's Sweet Tea yarn, this minty, spearminty one. So anyway, I'm just adding I think that this is where it was. I think I've just done that much since I've shown it last. So it's not like I've made huge amounts of progress, but it's kind of fun to see it. Every once in a while it just grows and grows. So it's getting pretty big.
Yeah, it's actually, it's grown a lot.
I think my goal was to do 60 stripes. And let's see where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I'm all tangled up here.
32. So I'm more than halfway there. And then when we get to 60, we'll see if I feel like it needs to be a little bit bigger. I want it to be my blanket that I keep it already over here on my chair. But I want it to be my cozy and watch a movie blanket. It's for me.
That's my blanket here.
Yes.
It's off limits to everybody but me.
Just yours.
Yep. I love it.
I can imagine that when I get mine, it will be the same. I have to show one other thing too, along with this, because our gorgeous friend Molly sent me a birthday present.
Molly, that's so sweet.
So I just got it yesterday, and she sent me this beautiful embroidery bag. So like for cross stitch or embroidery to go in it with the window. This is Molly Klein Designs. With the window in it, and she sent me, it's just so cute. And she said, and look, the owl has a crown. So that's why she picked it out for me, this fabric. And then a very extremely kind and sweet card, plus one of her really cute little yarn ball cozies with the llamas. I don't remember what she calls these. I just think of them as cozies. But, you know, they cover your cake of yarn. Mm-hmm. And some extra goodies. And she also sent me 2 more little minis. And,
perfect.
And she said they have requested to be in my blanket. And you can bet they are going to be in my granny stripe blanket. Yeah. They're perfect. They're going to go in that just so well. So I'm thrilled.
Love it.
Thrilled, thrilled, thrilled. Thank you, Miss Molly. She knows that I always call her Miss Molly. For some reason, that's how her name is in my head. I love it so much. All right. What do you want to show?
Okay. Works in progress. My youngest daughter, Nadia, has requested new mittens because...
I have requested new mittens for myself, too, but I haven't yet complied with our request.
You haven't complied?
I haven't complied with my own
Emily.
request.
We got a new coat for my daughter. She's outgrown her previous ones, and she realized she has giant pockets perfect for storing her mittens in there, so she went and put them in, and I had her put them on, and they're the ones that you knit her like 2 years ago, because 4 years before that you knit her some other ones.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember that I knit her a second pair.
2 pair. And she went to put them on, and the thumb is like, it doesn't come all the way down, but she still loved them and wanted to wear them. I said, how about I just make you some more, and we'll pass those on to your cousins whose hands they will fit. But she's like, but they're so warm and soft. I said, why don't you come pick out yarn from my stash? So I had her pick out the yarn, which I feel like in the end it worked. But at first I was questioning the wisdom of her choices. So she really wanted this yarn because this is almost the same colorway that Emily had used, and it's very soft.
I think both times too, didn't it?
I think so. Yeah. But I didn't have enough of it. And I said, well, I don't have enough. And she wanted to pair it with mohair. I said, I don't have enough of this one. And all the other ones that she liked didn't go with the mohair that she wanted. So in the end, she's like, well, why don't we do... I suggested we could do the cuffs a different color. So she picked that and this, which that works out just fine. There's some pinks and hues in here, which is really nice. And then she picked out this mohair. I thought, I'm not sure, but this is the mohair she wanted because this is the color of her coat. So it worked. But as I was going, I was thinking, I'm going to run out of the pink. What am I going to do? So she picked out some brown, and we knit a stripe here to tie it in so that if I don't have enough, I can knit the thumb in the brown, and it will be tied in by the stripe and the little color work here that I did so that it will work. So we have one mitten waiting for a thumb until I finish the other one so I know how much yarn I have for the rest. And it works, and she really likes it.
It totally does work.
So it looks really funny because it looks really long and narrow, but that's kind of her hands. She has long and narrow hands like I have. So it fits her just fine. And it's going to be really soft with the mohair. So the pattern is the World's Simplest Mitts by Mittens by Tin Can Knits. Oh, I need to sneeze with the mohair. It's a free pattern that I got on their website, and the great thing about it is that it gives you instructions for knitting a pair of mittens with fingering, DK weight, worsted weight, or chunky weight in sizes from, it says toddler, child, adult, small, medium, and large. So if you have yarn and if you have people that need mittens, then...
If you have yarn and you have hands, these two things can be added together to make mittens.
Then you can make some.
It really is such a fabulous
And they're
pattern.
simple. If you can knit socks, you can knit this.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Because imagine, here's your cuff, and you're knitting the leg, and then you do increases. This is like the gusset on the side kind of thing, except for the gusset you're decreasing unless you're doing toe up. And this is essentially like doing a toe right here. And I just put stitches on a holder here, which I would have put it on yarn because it would have actually worked a little bit better and not been as much in the way, but I didn't have an extra one sitting around for me to weave the yarn through, so I stuck it on my stitch holder. And then you go pick it up and knit in the round to do the thumb. So really simple.
I love it. I think I have a question. You ready for my question?
No.
Okay.
Wait just a minute, I'm preparing.
Okay. Good. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, I love looking at the color work in all the like Norwegian mittens.
So pretty.
They're beautiful, but I do not understand the shaping. I don't get why they are the shape they are.
Why
because
they're
you look
pointed.
at this mitten, this is going to fit her hand. It's going to fit her hand because your hand is long. Oh, now I have to sneeze.
Sorry. I'll put away the mohair.
I don't think it's the mohair. Oh, goodness. Okay. Anyway, but your hand is, I mean, it's got length
long
to it.
Long and narrow, and then at the tips comes to a point right there.
Yeah.
The same shape.
But it seems to me like the Norwegian mitts are always so short and like wide and very, very pointy.
Yeah.
Like very pointy.
I think it's just like stylized
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And the thumbs are, like your thumb comes off here, but the thumbs are usually like an afterthought thumb kind of shape, which
Oftentimes
puts your
they are.
thumb. Anyway, I don't get that. I don't.
They're set
they just don't
in
seem.
And
Yeah, they just don't seem like they would be as comfortable, or I don't know.
I don't know. I
haven't never knit any,
but
so I don't have any.
Beautiful and
They are
stunning, and they're on my wish list to get to. So maybe if I do that,
I'd like to just, I think maybe I would like to see like more color work like that, but in a mitten this shape. That would be really cool. I don't know. That does feel really soft. Those are cute. I definitely need to knit myself some new mittens. By the way, here's the funny thing about the coats. So we just bought Abby a new coat too. And we didn't like go looking around and say, oh, what is everybody else wearing? Let's buy one just like that. We just went to the store and she saw the coat and she was like, oh, it's perfect. I love it. And we got it. And then we showed up to our Commonwealth school and every single girl within 2 years of her age has the exact same coat. Like,
that's just how it goes. Everybody wants the same thing, and because that's what's available.
Yeah, I guess so. It just always cracks me up when things like that happen.
Yeah.
Because it's not like she was watching all of her friends wear them. It was too warm for coats before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, it's just a funny thing. All right. Well, I am working on this sweater forever and ever and never will ever be done. So here's the thing. If you remember, I took all this yarn and I knit
an entire sweater.
And, you know, half the sleeves, and then just could not make the sleeves work and decided to change patterns, unraveled all this yarn, and I knit another entire sweater out of the same yarn. And I didn't even wash the yarn. It's all like
crinkly.
I don't know.
Which
there
I
we go.
love. I love
yeah,
that.
Actually, everybody says to me, oh, I love the texture of that sweater when they would see me. And so I'm like, well, should I never wash it?
Don't. As long as possible. And after you wash it, like, wad it up into a ball.
I don't think that'll work because then it will just be big crinkles instead of... Anyway.
Just it's not going to every time you have to wear it. You have to wash it.
I'm sorry, I can't come today. I have to reknit my sweater again. It's part of my household chores. Okay, anyway. But when I bound off the sweater, it's so bright that it's blowing out. I have to hold it over here for you to even see it. When I bound it off, I didn't think to go up a couple needle sizes, which I usually will do if I want there to be give on a bind off. So I just bound it off small. I didn't really think that much about it. Bound off the wrists. And then I tried it on and they were kind of tight at the wrist. And the bottom was really rigid, the bind off. And I just thought, oh, I don't know. I think I wanted a little more give. And I know I needed to block the sweater before I pick up the button bands because it's going to really change the texture of it. I mean, it's a dramatic thing because it was already knit. This yarn was already knit. So anyway, I put it aside. I've been working on all kinds of other projects, including starting and finishing this other sweater, you know, all this other things. So I think I had even been at this point with the love notes. So I think I've knit 2 or 3 sweaters since then.
I think so.
So anyway, I got it out the other night and I unpicked that entire bind off, put it all back on the needles, got out the needle and bound it off again. And then I put it down and looked at the needle I was using to bind it off and realized I had just used the exact same size needle.
It shouldn't be funny. It's like, I feel your pain, Emily. It's really bad. Oh. If you've done it twice, 3 times, actually, 4, depending on where on the sweater, you can do it a 5th.
I'm going to do it again because
at this
come
point,
on, I wear a lot of navy blue and lime green and navy blue. Like, it's totally me.
Yeah.
I know all of you are like, why? And then there's others of you who are going, yeah, that's really cute. Anyway. All of you crazy ones like me.
Emily.
So anyway, I'm going to actually pause. I'm going to block the thing. Just going to block it. I'm going to double check and make sure that I'm actually needing to redo this bind off. And if so, I will go and do it again. And then I will knit the button bands. I will wear it. But I still love the color. I still love it. It's bookworm. It's my bookworm colorway, which I still totally love.
It's going to be great in the winter because everything in winter is so gray and blah. So we'll always be able to see you coming.
Yes, at night in a haunted house. I would glow in the dark.
It's going to be great because it really would look great with your dress.
It totally will. So anyway, I am going to get this done. I'm using the Sparkle Cardigan by Joji Locatelli as my framework for this pattern, but I am just kind of also making it up. The sparkle cardigan is an all over like textured lace pattern. I just basically am using it for the shape, and everything else is just me figuring out the length of how, like, it's not a three, I made it into a 3/4 length sleeve. I changed the sleeve decreases. I changed the length. I changed the body shaping. Yeah. So anyway.
So we could say inspired by.
There you go. Yeah. It's kind of like when you watch a movie and it says based on a book and you go, okay.
Based on.
But then if it says inspired by a book, then you go, oh, this is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
It's like Ella Enchanted.
No, they did okay with that.
I love the movie. I love the book, but they are not the same story at all.
It's inspired by, you're right.
Inspired by, and that's totally fine, like, as long as you know.
Okay.
All right, show it to us. So exciting.
I have finally done the thing. I have cast on. Oh, let's put this back. No, I want to keep that there.
Okay.
I have cast on my cardigan. This is the Woolen Explorer cardigan. Right here. And this is the book. I purchased this online somewhere at some point. It was in my, this is my pattern library, going back to wanting to use the patterns that I have. And so I've been doing pretty good with that. And the yarn that I am using is Madeline Tosh yarn. My husband, for my birthday 2 years ago, or I think, he brought me home a stash of yarn every day for a week, which was great. And this was one of them. So there's a store that he loves to go to called NPS, and it's the industrial NPS, and they had yarn there. And since my husband knows yarn, he knew I would like this one. So it was Madeline Tosh, and the great thing is, it's marked to $9.99, but I'm pretty sure that he bought it for like 20 to 40% off. So good deal.
Yeah,
good
I
deal.
mean, $9.99 is already a huge deal for Madeline.
So he bought me, well, you can't see, I've got more caked up underneath. I've got a whole bunch of them caked up. And the colorways all say one of a kind. So I've got, you kind of can see it down there. So I've cast on my cardigan. I have the pockets, the pocket linings. I did that first. So I've got 2 pocket linings here that are on stitch holders. And once I get to a specific number of rows here, then I will bind some off for each pocket. And then the next round I will just put these in the place of the bound off stitches back behind it. So
those pocket linings are excellent swatches.
I know, and you know what?
You swatched.
I swatched, and afterwards when I saw the pockets, I was like, I could have just done that, and so that would have been great. So note to self, future self, check the pattern and see if there's pocket linings, and if so, knit those for your swatch.
But that's okay. I mean, still.
But I was right on for my gauge, which was so nice. So nice. I am alternating skeins, and I'm doing that with helical knitting, which is making a completely invisible, not join, but change over of the yarn. And it's so simple. So simple, because I have hated alternating skeins. Like, to me, that is probably the #1 reason why I have not knit large things, because I didn't like alternating skeins. It's like torture. But helical knitting, if you can do it in the round, do that. It's easy. I'll link a tutorial below that makes it just as simple as can be, and you'll never look back again, and everything will be knit in the round after that. So, yeah, I'm just having lots of fun with this one.
This is your second sweater for yourself.
I know.
Good for you.
I know. I'm really enjoying this one.
Yeah, you're knitting bottom up.
Yeah, and it's just stockinette right now. It's bottom up, and
it's so pretty though. The yarn really gets to show off.
Yeah, I really love this yarn. this is the spot where I will be steeking it, is between these markers. But I haven't got to the color work part yet, so we'll see if I still like it at that point.
Have you thought about knitting some texture stitches in here, like in the middle, putting some purl rows so it will be easy when you go to cut it to track your row?
I haven't thought about that. That's a possibility. But as I look at it, the
They're big
stitches are large
stitches,
enough that it's
yeah.
really not hard to see it. It's really going to be pretty simple. It's not really difficult to see. But I
So
love
pretty.
this color.
It's so pretty. It really is gorgeous.
So obviously the body is this gorgeous like raspberry color, and then the navy blue will be, oh, that's on the front here. The navy blue will be this black part, and then in right here, that white is going to be this pale pink kind of blushy color. So
that's really pretty.
It is actually modeled. It was knit to be modeled on a man, and then they put it on a woman, so it's really oversized in the pictures. And I'm actually knitting it that way because I loved that, and I wanted to have it be like my camping sweater that you just use as a coat. And I should have enough yarn, but just to be sure, I'm going to knit it slightly shorter because I have a short torso anyways. So I'm just going to do it slightly shorter there, and probably a decent amount shorter on the arms, because on the model it was like pushed way up and bunched up, and so the only trick there is going to be the rate of decreases there, so that I'm going to have to look at if I shorten.
You'll have to see if they start increase, because you're knitting them from cuff up, right?
Yep, everything's
and
bottom
so
up, cuff
if
up.
if they're starting their increases right away, then yeah, you'll have to adjust
Yeah.
it. But a lot of them, they knit for a while and then
And
start
then,
increases.
so I'll have to look at that and make adjustments there. But I also still want it to be, what's the word? The ratios, the look.
Proportionate.
Proportional. Proportionate. So I don't want it to be this really wide thing, and then why do you have these stubby little arms, and then, like, so I'll just
It'll just
have
be a
to
boxy
see.
style. It'll
There
be
you go.
fine.
So I don't know, but we're gonna play around with it and see.
That's wonderful. Good job.
Thanks.
All right, my next work in progress is this pair of socks. Actually, I'm trying, okay. This pair of socks right here.
Yeah.
Here are these socks. Anyway, this is a new design, and it's so fun. So I have the first one done, and
Are you supposed to be showing this?
yeah, I can show it. It's fine. I know I had to think for a second, make sure. No, I can show it.
Wait a
It's
minute,
okay.
Emily, I'm confused.
Anyway, they're really cute. And I'm knitting them in, I'll tell you more about them later, but I'm knitting them in my Marianne Dashwood colorway. So they're really fun. Peachy with some little brighter pink speckles. So I'm working on those, and more details will come up with that later. And that's really all I have.
That's
I
all
don't really
I
have
That's
any-
all I have.
Well, but if you
It's
look
been
at
an
it-
hour.
I know, but if you look at that, I literally have this thing that's waiting around.
And you made a sweater.
But as far as what I'm working on right now.
I got you.
And then I have a pair of socks, and then every once in a while I'm
And you
working on
need
my
to do
blanket.
something today for tomorrow if you're going to.
Yeah, exactly.
You could do a helical knit hat.
I could do, there's lots of stuff I could
With
do.
mohair.
I have some mohair, but I just am like, I don't know that that's what I want to do with that yarn. Because it's not.
That's what
anyway,
I want to do
we'll figure it out.
with every yarn. I seriously. I love knitting accessories, and this time of year I love to knit hats. Every time we get to this time of year, I was looking back over all the things that I make and what time of year I make them, and I get obsessed with hats this time of year.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling that right now.
Well, hats are fun because they are kind of it's not instant gratification by any means, but definitely shorter project.
Well, you don't have to make two, like socks, or two, like gloves. You just make one.
Yeah.
And there's so many possibilities.
And plus we tend to knit with a lot of fingering weight yarn, and they can be fingering weight, but they could also be DK, worsted, bulky, there's all kinds of different. You can use
scraps for it. You can, I mean, like, there's so many options. I just want to knit all the hats, but I want this sweater done yesterday.
Yeah.
So I am working on this. I wouldn't have even done the mittens except for my daughter put on the other ones. I'm like, don't even put them on. I don't want you to stretch them out any further. Just let me knit you some mittens. So I just want to work on this only and get it done because I want to wear it right now.
Very nice.
Okay, I have one more thing. I was just clearing off the needles so that I could do my sweater because I didn't want to have to. I wanted to not have anything else call to me. But hats are calling. So I have one sock that I knit for my husband from Dragon Horde Yarns colorway When I Kissed the Teacher on the Shepherdess fingering weight base. And I did this one in 68 stitches. We typically do 64 stitches for my husband because he likes his socks super tight. But he said that this size still fit him and he liked them well. He liked them just fine. And I'm just doing plain stockinette. They're just vanilla socks because he likes simple colors like blue and gray and brown and some green and some black. There you go. And I've got this second one. I've turned the heel, done the decreases. So I just need to do the foot and it will be done. But this is my movie knitting because when I knit his socks, since it's pretty much just doing the same color again and again and again, I've already said this, then I just do it in the dark so I don't have to look the same color again and again and again. Which it's beautiful yarn. All the colors that I've used to knit his socks are all really, they're all really lovely. But, I like bright, vivid colors and he did wear them. But
I really need to get my husband another pair of socks.
So I think this is his 7th pair of socks that I've knit for him, and he loves them and wears them, so I need to just keep going on it. But I'm gonna finish this, so I need to go to a movie.
Me too. There's not a lot out there right now. There's not.
I've been watching lots of Disney movies because we're going to Disneyland very shortly.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, you guys are doing that soon.
So when we go to Disneyland, I like to watch a whole bunch of the Disney movies that I love. I need to watch Up. I love it. I love it.
I have a hard time. I can't watch that one actually.
But it makes me feel like it's like a sad one, but at the end it's one that makes me just feel so good inside. I love it.
I agree. I think it's a great movie. I think my problem is that when did it come out? It's like I have it. It's all tied up with our grandpa in my head.
Oh, and that's actually one reason why I like it.
Yes, which I get.
It's like my grandpa. It's the story of my grandpa almost. So.
Well, because he just loved our grandma so much, and then she passed away about how long before he died? I like all my numbers are gone from my head right now, but probably 8 years. 8 or 9 years between when she passed away and then he passed away, and he missed her every day. He cried every day missing her.
To me though, while it's sad, it's still such a beautiful
it is
romance.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with the movie. That. I think the movie is fantastic. It's just me.
Yeah,
I just have a hard time watching it.
I love it.
I was realizing, so I had this conversation with Abby the other day, and I said something about Bugs Bunny. And she said, who?
Yeah.
And I went, you don't know who Bugs Bunny is? And she says, no. And I'm like,
that's all, folks.
But what about Elmer Fudd or Daffy Duck? And she's like,
Yosemite
nope.
Sam.
And I just started going through all the Looney Tunes characters. She doesn't know who a single one of them are. She doesn't know who Roadrunner or Wile E. Coyote or Tweety and Sylvester or any of these are. And I was like, we have got to rectify this. Not that I'm really not a cartoon fan.
But these classics.
But I'm like, we have to at least watch a few so you can get an idea of who these are, who these characters are. And then I realized I've also never shown my 2 youngest the original Pete's Dragon. They have never seen it.
I haven't shown my kids that.
They haven't seen it.
That's a crying
There's a whole
shame.
bunch of these older Disney movies that they haven't seen. And anyway, Richard and I were going through, this is not meant to be a plug, but the list of all the movies that are coming out on Disney Plus, which is starting in November. and looking at all these movies that we used to watch when we were kids and like the old Disney nature shows and like Davy Crockett. Anyway, just a bunch of these old ones. And we're like, okay, it's time for us to watch some older
I love
movies
the charm of the older
Yeah.
Okay, so if you like the older Disney shows,
or just any of those,
I'd like to hear what is your favorite one below. Like, what is your favorite one and what makes it your favorite? And then I may have some to go research and start watching.
That would be great. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
We also, the other night, I saw a meme that says, if I say the other day, it's any time between yesterday and 6 years ago. But I don't know, a month ago maybe, we watched Swiss Family Robinson, the old live,
That's another one that's like inspired by the book.
And
Which is great,
I mean,
though.
the problem with a lot of these older movies is that, like, especially they're ridiculous. Like, honestly, when it comes to any kind of other cultures or ethnicities or anything, like, there's some really ridiculous stuff. Yeah. And so you definitely have to, like, pay attention to that and talk with your kids about it. But there's still some things that are really great in them. And I think it's really, you don't want to throw the whole thing out and miss the good. Yeah. You just have to talk about why some things are totally not okay. So anyway, but I love some of those old ones. They're really fun.
And my husband just read Swiss Family Robinson for the first time. And I was saying, this is like every boy's childhood dream. Yeah. Like, for adventure, your own private island that I love Swiss Family Robinson.
That's a great one. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the whole racing on the ostrich and just so ridiculous. There's some really ridiculous stuff. The other one we've been watching is Gilligan's Island.
Talk about ridiculous.
There's like nothing.
My children haven't
intelligent
seen that.
About any.
I can't imagine why they haven't seen that.
Well, we went through this thing like several years ago where Richard started binge watching them with the kids.
Yeah.
And they watched all of it. But I say a few years ago. I'm talking like 6, 7 years ago. So Abby, who's 11, she doesn't really remember any of it. And they just were in the mood for it the other day. So.
That brings up a show that I remember our parents watching, and all I remember are like 2 characters, but nothing else. The Love Boat.
Oh yeah, The Love Boat. And what about Fantasy Island?
Oh, that's another one. Yeah, I remember just some characters, but not really anything going on there.
I think everything is retro now. Like, we all are kind of looking for those things from when we were kids that
have really great memories.
Yeah, and sometimes you go back and watch them and you're like, why did I like this? Yeah. You do. And that's same with some of those Disney movies. You're watching it again going, like, why did I think this was funny? Anyway, and some of them I'll have to go back and watch because I know this has happened a lot especially with movies. I'll go back and watch something and go, this is totally inappropriate. And it went completely over my head when I was a kid. Yeah. So anyway.
All right. It's time for Kindness is Like Sugar.
So this is just a short little story, and I hope you guys will forgive me because this was something that our family did, but it was really fun. And so the other night on Sunday,
7 years ago.
No, this was actually just 4 days ago, 3 days ago, we went for a drive in Mill Creek Canyon, which is a canyon here. We have beautiful mountains here in Salt Lake. With these gorgeous canyons, and some of them are big, some of them are small, ski resorts, etc. But Mill Creek Canyon is a smaller canyon, and it is my favorite place to go to see fall colors or just actually to go for a drive or anything. So I really enjoy it. So on Sunday, we went up there. Well, apparently so did everybody else who lives in Salt Lake City, or actually the Valley.
This is the last chance we're going to have, and we almost did too, Emily.
It was packed. So So the way that canyon works is you pay $3 when you leave the canyon. So it's kind of your fee to help pay for the care and preservation of the canyon. And as soon as we pull in past the little station where you pay on the road, we realize that there is a line of cars coming down, waiting to pay to get out. A line of cars. And I mean, it's too late at that point. You're already up there. To get out, you have to get in that line, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
There might be two, if any.
Maybe, yeah. But no, it's a line. And I'm talking, it kept going and going. So we're like, okay, we're just not going to worry about it. It is what it is. So we went and we did our drive, and it was very, very crowded, but it was a beautiful drive. And actually, we really had a great time, and got some really fun family pictures while we were up there, and just enjoyed ourselves. And then as we were heading back out, we knew, okay, it's going to be busy coming down. So we get down toward where we're going to be, and there's a line of people behind us, and we can tell it's going to be busy. And anyway, long story short, we got into the big long line. And when I say big long line, after we'd been in the line for about 5 minutes, we passed the sign that says fee station and a half a mile. So we're talking stopped traffic for that long time. So when it's normally not busy at all, it was a while. But it's a gorgeous day. We had the sunroof open. We were just enjoying ourselves and listening to some music, and it was fine. So I pulled out my wallet to get out the cash, and I realized that I had exactly $21 in cash. I don't carry a lot of cash, but I had $21. And I said, that's the exact amount to pay for 7 cars. And Richard's like, oh, that'll be fun, So we just thought we'll pay for us and the 6 cars behind us. And I wasn't really thinking much about it other than that it's just fun to be able to do stuff like that. So when we got up to the fee station, we paid, and the lady was like, okay, thanks. You could tell had been pretty harried and busy that day. So she didn't say anything about it. And we didn't see any of the reaction from the people behind us because, they're stopped and we're going. So none of that. However, my children talked about it all the way home. They kept talking about how fun that was. And, I wonder what they thought. And I wonder what their reaction was. And they were so excited about the fact that we had been able to do that. So that's why I wanted to share it. Not because what we did was some big thing or anything like that. But I loved seeing how my kids reacted to a little thing like that, we don't get any payoff from anywhere else, and it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Maybe it brightens somebody's day, but I know that my kids will remember it, and that it definitely made an impression on them. So that's what I wanted to share.
Drop a pebble in the water, just a splash and it is gone. But there are 100 ripples circling on and on and on, spreading from the center, flowing out into the sea, and there is no way of telling where the end is going to be. I love it.
It's so good.
Your kids are going to spread and ripple that.
And they already do.
They do.
They are such good kids.
Your kids are fantastic.
So are yours.
So
we have good kids.
I love my kids.
We're blessed.
I love them so much. Do you remember that clip that I inserted?
Did you put that in? Yes. Oh, yeah, you did. From Raising Arizona?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Fun stuff.
All right. Shop news.
My shop news. See, this is the problem. This whole year, I have been doing mystery clubs. I have been doing secret things. And it's exactly the same right now. So my shop news is that I'm dying for Advent, and I'm dyeing yarn for October's Harry Potter clubs, which is based on Tales from Beedle the Bard. That's my book for October's club. I do still have clubs available, but will I by the time this airs? I may, so you can definitely check and see that. I also released my Little Women collection, which is called the March Girls. And there are colorways for each of the 4 girls and for Marmee. And those are at Knit and Pretty. She has a good stock of those. And I will also be having them in my shop, but not until after Advents.
Oh, okay.
I was going to, but honestly, Advents, with Advents and trying to do Harry Potter at the same time, that's keeping me very busy. So I will be doing those, but it will be after I'm finished with Advents, which are coming. They're getting close. So all the Advents will go out by November 10th. And next year, I will probably not be doing any mystery yarn clubs because I've done this full year. Plus, I did 6 months of mystery clubs last year. And I want to come back to doing more things that I can show. It's hard to not be able to show a lot of the things you're dyeing. So, So I'll be doing more of that. I'll be doing more just collections and things next year. I'm really excited about that. So I really don't have anything I can show you right now other than hopefully we've put some pictures in of
the March girls.
The March girls.
Yes. Okay. I've just got a mess here. And my hair's a mess. I'm just a mess.
Deborah.
Okay. So at Stitches, Amanda from Little Bitty Delights came and we did a little collaboration that brought back from last year. And just a second. Because, you know, I love Mary Poppins. And she loves Mary Poppins. And she had some Bert and Mary Jolly Holiday cupcake charms. Oh, he's turned around. Bert, don't be shy. Bert's so cute. And Mary Poppins. Look how adorable they are. They're so cute. I have pictures of these on Instagram. And then we had the collaboration here was my Jolly Holiday mini collection and the charms that go with it. So I have a few of those left in the shop. I think 3 sets, I think. And so I do have more of the mini skeins, but I think I just have 3 of the yarn and charm collection left. So if you are wanting those, there's just a couple. And then I dyed up a whole bunch more, a lot of these. Well, say a lot of minis. But then once you get them all put together, it's like, there's not as many sets as I would have hoped. But the County Fair concessions and the County Fair rides mini skeins. And the beautiful thing is that my daughter Ella has learned how to wind the minis. And I paid her to wind hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of minis and full skeins of yarn for stitches and for all the other things. So I have some of these. And I also have just a few bags left. This is it. I have 1 carousel bag and 3 fruit stripe bags. If you remember those fruit stripe gum, that's what I've got left. And here's the thing. I won't be dyeing any of my colorways that I have dyed previously again. So everything that I'm dyeing as of right now forward is all new. So if you wanted any of my colorways before and it's in the shop, now's the time to get it because I'm not doing them again.
That's a big one.
I mean, it's fun because, you know, it's fun to have lots of new fun things. And I'm working on Christmas colorways right now. I've got 2 of them dyed already. So I'm getting ready for my holiday collection. And so my holiday collection is all based on movie, music, and book references. So
right up my alley. I love it.
So that's what we've got for my shop.
Fun.
And my hair. It's because I put the hat on. I told you.
I ruined everything. I made you put the hat on and it ruined everything.
Forever. Okay. That's the end. We're done. It's driving me crazy. It's still poking out. It's still doing it.
I have some pins. We could just pin it to your face.
I have hair glue that I did for wigs, for costumes. Okay.
There you go. Cute. Adorable.
It's too warm to wear this. Okay.
So that's everything we have. And we'll see you soon.
See ya. Bye.